every morning. Our AI runs all through, and they get an email that says these are the 3 best prospects of things that happen on your site, people actions they did that you should go after today. They don't do anything. Every morning they get an email, 3 prospects of what it is, and it's all done based on what they told AI, and AI is always learning based on further good sales. You can refine things. Say, don't go for people with this, don't go for these keywords. I don't want to be in this art market. And every day they get this list that they don't have to go through and comb or guess on. That's what AI is invaluable for.
You're listening to Talk Commerce. Subscribe and download at talk-commerce.com.
Welcome to this episode of Talk Commerce. Today I have Courtney Hurley and Kelly Evans, who are sisters, I just learned. Kelly and Courtney. Kelly, start off, give us an introduction for yourself. Tell us your day-to-day role and what you're excited about for this year in business.
Oh boy, putting me on the spot. I am Kelly. I'm Courtney's older sister and wonderful. Courtney and I, so it's kind of cheesy just to jump into this, but somebody asked us the other day about Screws and Stilettos, our name. And it really is Courtney and I. Like, one of us is working on something in the back end and the other person is doing the front end. And then we switch based on different skills and strengths. So Courtney's by far the best person I've ever met in my life with ads and SEO. I can get a good B plus, and on a really good day, I do a good job. She crushes anybody. So that's Courtney's front end and everything. And I'll go on the back end and do whatever busy work and things she needs for that. And then vice versa when it comes to strategic development or website building or migration or automation, implementation, like effective tool usage and like setting up your stack lean and correctly is really where I am the front of the stilettos, and she's more on the back end supporting me. So it really is just a dynamic of a yin and yang. Every day is completely different, and it just depends on what projects we have, what clients we have, what we want to do in our lives. We both have kids and family, and we take value in doing the amazing job with our clients, but also enjoying our family and our kids and stuff. So, and what's the other question? The best.
What's you're excited about for business?
Oh, I'm excited about humans. I'm excited to get over the wave of the flood of everything needs to be AI, get every tool and make it like bells and whistles, to then all of a sudden be like, wait, bells and whistles actually don't do anything unless something's following it and connecting it, and getting back to literally the human element. Like, hi, how are you? What do you need help with? Like, let's address that rather than just trying to patch everything with a million different tools and things that are ultimately not doing it for you. And you're just putting lipstick on a pig when really we want to get rid of the pig and actually make you and get what you need and get you set up and then say goodbye. Like, and have a good time and let us know if you need anything in the future. That's what I want in business.
All right. Courtney, you're next.
All right. So I'm Courtney. I come from an agency world background, as Kelly mentioned. Thank you, Kelly. I primarily focus in SEO and ads, analytics, and then I also do training on peak performance and the neuroscience behind flow and how to increase your productivity 500%. So we really couple a lot of what we do for busy, small, mid-sized business owners that are not only are they carrying many hats, but they also are high risk of burnout. So we not only make sure that they get the right foundation in place, train them up on what they need, but we also make sure we train them on the neuroscience behind flow and how to increase that productivity, how to tap into active recovery and banish that burnout. The thing I'm most excited for in business isn't just, it's the enablement of people, I would say, and the enablement of being able to gain your time back to use it for those things that matter most to you. And that is not just from a business perspective, but a personal perspective as well. And in doing so, being able to learn how to be more present and more efficient in both your work, your strategies, but as also your home life. And I think something that because we really focus on all of our work on enablement, and that comes into like the marketing trainings we do, the business trainings we do, as well as, of course, the neuroscience and stuff like that. We really are about again, coming from the agency world, I firsthand was a part of the handcuffing of people to you.
The robbery, the straight robbery.
Yeah, to ensure those pipelines and making sure that they were reliant on us. And I just didn't align with that. And that's the biggest thing I'm most excited for, is not even just enabling people to gain time back for their family and friends, or for their health and fitness, or for their business, but also enabling them with the tools, the insights, the knowledge, and the access to experts that can answer questions on the fly when they're just stuck with where they're at. So that way they can actually grow, pivot, and be agile in their business, instead of constantly being stuck and trapped in these like overwhelm, bring on an agency, these loops of like high costs, lack of autonomy, lack of control, that sort of thing. So that would be what I'm most excited for. And as you can tell, I'm a little passionate about it.
That's awesome.
Neither one of us are at all.
We did discuss in our green room that we took we've already done a full episode just discussing what we're going to discuss. So before we get into that though, I know, and we have a lot to talk about today, I'm going to tell you guys a joke. All you have to do is give me a rating 8 through 13, and it's guaranteed not to be funny. So I'm going to cue it up just like that. It might be funny, Alex. Who knows? It's everybody's different, right? Oh, this is a good one, and I thought about kids when I had this joke. So here we go. My son made the mistake of telling me that I was being overdramatic, so I changed the Wi-Fi password. We'll see who's overdramatic in 5 minutes.
My kids would lose it. They would lose it. They would. No, I like that. All right, I'll give it an 11.
I was going to give it an 11 too.
All right, perfect.
We're so
That's
aligned.
Great. Yeah.
I think that's great.
Good. All right. Well, so
Sassy one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can see literally. I'm like, I don't know if it's the kids or Dan that would actually be more upset though.
I did an interview earlier. I'm going to say the joke again because I just want to, because there were two people, we have to tell two jokes, and I know this is a double, but this was particularly funny for me when I read it first. Here we go. In Athens, no one wakes up before noon. Dawn is tough on Greece. I thought that was even better.
That's horrible.
I know.
Not a horrible joke. It's a horrible, like, oh my gosh. It took me a minute to understand the Greece part. Then I came back, got that.
Yeah. I feel like that's if you're going for sophistication, that's like the 12.
I'm going 10 because I'm like, my feelings are a little hurt, even though I have nothing to do. I'm not in Greek. I'm nothing. It's just, I'm like, oh, well, it's done. Like, I'm like, oh, I feel bad, even though it's completely a joke. Those poor people.
Yeah, poor people. All right, so we started off before we started recording talking about just the use of AI and how AI is so prevalent in content generation, but people overlook it for pipelines, for helping you do less work, right? So tell us about where you guys see AI now in the world of marketing and where you think it's going.
So I'll start something that I would love to jump in and start out, and then I'm going to hand it over to Kelly because she is. We just had a very passionate
conversation about this topic today.
I know, but the thing that I've noticed is that people are they're using AI for so much of the front-facing components, the social media content, the website content, the blog content. Something I think that is being overused is they're using it one for one. They're pulling it straight from AI and leveraging it and putting it on their site. Now, actually, what has been shown is that when you use those AI trigger terms like embark, like unlock, those types of things,
embrace journey,
you actually start to lose trust in your brand and in the value of your content. What it's intended to be more of is yes, you can use it straight one for one, but not if you're building yourself a high quality, reputable brand. You really want to use it as your brainstorming tool. Now, it's great for that, but that's not actually where AI started from. And it's actually been around for a lot longer, but in various different realms in the back end. And I'm going to let Kelly dive into how people can leverage AI from a marketing perspective in their background to literally make their systems do all the hard work for them?
So yes, I will be very passionate about that, but I wanted to explain, to cover one thing Courtney mentioned, that I think is a great example of how people need to look at content with AI. We did a blog series for a client last year, and it was intentional that they're an agency in a different realm, and we did, I think it was 8 series, and it was all on AI generated content. And the first thing we did, we said we wrote a prompt, and then we gave what AI produced, and then we analyzed what we did. Like that was the first blog post. The second one was an iteration of more curated learnings on the prompt. And over 8 blog posts, we had the AI generated and then our edited version of the content. And by the end of the 8 series, the prompt got a lot better. But no matter what, if you looked at the AI generated one versus the human edited one, it was anybody who looked at it, anybody who talked to, we had a bunch of people poll, everybody picked out the robot immediately. And the most common reaction was they lost trust and they felt like they were being gypped or cheated or lied to, because all of a sudden they're in the middle of reading this thing, really believing this perspective, and all of a sudden they're like, wait, this isn't this is a robot. This isn't Joe. This is a robot. And they lost complete faith, don't trust anything, and they leave. When if you took the version that is the curated, edited version of an idea from AI, not one person felt that way, and they read it through, and the article, the writer became a thought leader, became a trusted source for them. The robot, every single person who went through found the trigger words, the tone, the lengthy sentences, and knew after a while they got caught into it, and all of a sudden like, wait, hold on, that's not it, and it completely showed this example that it was damaging to a brand. So for the learnings there was, AI is a great thing to get when you're in a roadblock. You can't think of something, you need ideas. Here, give me 10 ideas what to do. But take that idea and make it your own in your voice. Because the most valuable thing you have, your biggest differentiator, is your personality, your brand personality, your individual personality. We're humans. We don't want to be friends and buy and love robots. We want humans that we are. And that's what it really brings the energy and the positivity, is the human connection. And if you try to use a robot, you're not only going to miss those connections, but you're going to lose a lot of trust and a lot of opportunities because of that. And also, everyone's using it, the same words, the same tone, the same keywords, the same trigger words are all being used. You're never going to rank in SEO now because everyone's using the same source. When if you had it your own, you would have a unique source. So with content, use it as a resource to get started or to get you through a hump. Do not use it to write your content, or you will get caught and it will backfire. On the other hand, use it 100,000%. Automation, integration, intelligent learnings, identifying things you aren't seeing or you don't have the time to see or you don't want to see. Use it. Anything you have. If you have 1, 2, 10, 20, 30 tools, I don't care. If you have 10 products versus 10 million, they all need to talk to each other. And it's not so complicated. It's literally just a web. Like, if this is here, this needs to be here. And if I do this, I need to share it. You have to have a centralized brain, nervous system, a database that has all the information. You don't have to use it all, but it needs to all be there and to be able and be talking to each other. So it's building this learning. And then at some point you want to take a piece of the pie and you say, I want to identify this type of audience or this type of group or this type of product. It's all in there and it's connected to be able to intelligently give it back to you. But you also can use it in the sense that it can predict things for you. It can trigger things. So if it says, if you have like AI scoring, for example, you can say, here's my 10,000 most recent orders, and this is the best ones. Tell me what is consistent in the best ones, and what are the characteristics? What's the history of these people? Where did they come from? Not just what source they came from and how much you paid from Google Ads. What are the unique identifiers that you're not seeing just from a blinding Excel, that it can go through and identify these things? Then use those learnings to improve upon your system to expand. You can build your ads audience based off these learnings. Use it as your intelligence tool, which is what it's supposed to be doing. It is artificial intelligence, not artificial content creation or artificial drawings, because everyone knows that if you see a ChatGPT image, you know that overlay and that tone, that was ChatGPT, no matter what you do to it. But at the end of the day, you can use it to really be an analysis, analytical trigger tool that can save you. We have one client we set up. We have identified really in detail the triggers for their ideal customer. And every morning, Our AI runs all through, and they get an email that says these are the 3 best prospects of things that happen on your site, people actions they did that you should go after today. They don't do anything. Every morning they get an email, 3 prospects of what it is, and it's all done based on what they told AI, and AI is always learning based on further good sales. And you can refine things. Say, don't go for people with this, don't go for these keywords. I don't want to be in this art market. And every day they get this list that they don't have to go through and comb or guess on. That's what AI is invaluable for. I keep going, but I will take a break.
Yeah, that's odd. I mean, finding patterns in data is what it's best at, right? And I think that. So I write personas for people, and I'll tell you what the first thing I put on is here's just a list of 5 things or 6 things in the ever evolving ... unlock, game changing, delving, aim to in the world of ever evolving, ever changing. I think those are just, you're right, those are some key words now that
if you see a comma before the and, you know that a human did not do that unless they really are good at grammar. You know that ChatGPT did that. If you see 2 asterisks, you know that it's a copy and paste directly. But it's the length of sentences. If you actually run ChatGPT's paragraphs through a language level like scoring, it actually scores way too complex and way too high than the average consumer, average reader, average browser. If you're looking to buy, if you have an e-commerce site and you have the descriptions, if you put ChatGPT in there, they're too overwhelming, they're too complicated. They don't actually drive any inspiration to say, oh my gosh, you read my mind. I need this now. ChatGPT doesn't do that. Yeah. And that's where the human is.
I will admit that I use Grammarly, and Grammarly puts the Oxford comma in all the time.
Oh, yeah.
I wish I could turn it off.
It tells me to, but I don't always listen to it. I actually went to law school, and Grammarly, I learned to really respect Grammarly because there's times you just don't even know. When you could put in the law school grammar rules in the blue book and green book, and then it'll follow those. And I was like, oh, it really helped me also learn the rules because it was telling me when I was doing things wrong.
Yeah. So, Courtney, what's your take on that?
For AI automation, really, I mean, when it comes to emails and workflows and all that stuff, I mean, we just had a client literally less than an hour ago that we were talking about this with. And there's the difference of like manually creating different drip campaigns, or you could do things where you actually only create 5 to 7 templates. And then based on those 5 to 7 templates, you can have all sorts of dynamic variables that can go into place. You can have these templates be your written template, but then it's just implementing those key call to actions or that you've predetermined based on user behavior, like lead scoring, that sort of thing. The other area that we see it so powerful is in the data, the lead scoring data that we're able to pass back into our ads. I mean, we have, I think, one of our clients that we spend over $2 million a year on their Google ads, just their Google ads alone, and they run other ads as well. Their ROAS over 1 year, because of lead scoring, which is being able to rate the level of the lead based on the number of interactions, the sales interactions, whether people opened emails, the number of pages they looked at, whether they had a phone call, all those things, and being able to rate them up to a certain score, and then saying, if their score is 50 or higher, tell Google Ads, and let's optimize towards that. So it's not only taking into account just the fact that a person booked a meeting, but we're optimizing towards just those 50 plus scored meetings. And as a result, it knows which ones of those booked meetings were poor meetings, but also which ones were great. And this is what is the best thing about this is from that type of concept, we were able to increase their ROAS on their ads over 850% in a year. And that's for a company that's spending $2 million a year on their ads. So that's huge for them.
What's huge is that it's not just about what Courtney's saying with this is the good meetings. It's telling you and telling the tool systems the bad ones, the bad leads. So it came through and they filled out a form. Awesome. Now it's a good lead. It's conversion. Then they booked a meeting. Amazing. They're going to meet with sales. Then sales had the meeting. Wow, this is gold. And then they sent them a proposal. and then the person went rogue, or the person was a scam, or that fact that they made all these steps, suddenly it's gooder, great, good I made up on purpose. And then you're going and telling Google Ads, go find so many more people like this. But guess what? It was a scam. It was a spam. It was not a good lead. You want to go back and say, don't find people like this. And these are the behaviors I don't want. So when you're going and finding good people, also have to tell the bad ones. People always clean their database of bad people. That's the worst thing you can do. Your database needs to have the good, bad, and indifferent. And you need to categorize and bucket and flag and identify the bad just as much as the good. So you can tell your emails, you can tell your text messaging, you can tell your ads, anything. What is the bad that you don't want as well as the good? And sometimes the bad's more important. That's where, like Courtney was saying, where people really start to succeed is by getting rid of the bad. But you have to have those analysis. You have to flag them. You have to be able to bucket them, identify them, and then communicate outwards without you going through every single person saying whether they good or bad, putting it in Excel, uploading it somewhere. No, you need to have the system doing those learnings and sharing for you, so it's doing its job. And why you're paying for these tools? If you biggest mistake people have, they're starting to struggle, overwhelmed, drowning, too many things. What do? They go buy 10 more AI tools, and guess what? All 10 of those are just going to guarantee that you're going to fail, because none of them are actually working for you. They may give you something here or there, but what they really need to do is take what you have, do what you can't do or shouldn't be doing because you have a different job besides the marketing of it, and coming back and giving you what is best for you then to decide what to do to act on it. But that analytical mind is what is really the most valuable thing. And if you only use it in one direction, then you're not taking advantage at all as to what's really going to make you succeed.
I've used the word unpacked before AI, so I want to just go back and talk about.
You did?
I want to make a comment.
AI didn't invent it?
I used actually delving too. I listened to Rick Steves over the weekend, and he said, "I'm going to delve into Berlin."
I said embark
something.
before, but I know I can't now.
Right, you can't say any of those words. Anyways, so a comment on the learning before ChatGPT. One of my biggest complaints about like Jasper and some of these other AI companies that were coming out at about the same time was that the inability to tell them what didn't work. And I just remembered at the time that, maybe 3 years ago, not being able to tell them, this sentence is terrible, don't ever give it to me again. And then the next time you'd put it into a prompt, they just give you the same bad sentence. So that part, but from the data side, I do want to just hear about PMAX, and you're talking about Google Ads, and the number one thing that I've learned from Google is that they just want you to spend more money, and they're a little optimistic. Because I don't have any big clients, but optimizing means increase your budget by 7 times, and you're going to get more sales. So tell us, like, I'm assuming you're using tools outside of Google's own performance algorithm, or at least to help you learn more, because I feel like Google is definitely slanted towards just spending more money.
Okay, so Google, I actually do host whole workshops on just Google Ads ROI, like increasing conversions and ROI. And the thing is, Google has on its face, on its initial foundational settings, essentially, for your ads, Google absolutely sets themselves up for maximum spend. They make sure your broad match keyword little radio button is set to on, so all your keywords automatically go to broad match, which means you're just going to fly through your budget. They want you to turn on these auto apply settings for them to be able to add more keywords, and then you have to keep increasing spend. There's so many ways, though, that you can, if you just know how to use it, where I actually, as much as you might think that I use all these other tools to make my Google ads smarter, at least 70 or 80% of what I do to make our ads smarter is done in platform.
It's restricting Google ads is what she does so well. So
there's all sorts of features. There's the settings to make sure that, like, if you're a smaller budget, making sure you turn off the search network and Google Partner Network. There's under content, there's like content suitability, and it's being able to block your ads from being able to show up alongside other types of content. So, like, let's say religion, or showing up on park domains, which is just a waste of your money because it's just an empty domain. on certain types of websites, that sort of thing, like where you would show up next to it. There's a lot of features from that perspective that you can do. You can also set it up so that way it's like you want to test it first, but set up the ad scheduling so it only shows for certain days of the hours. I mean, one client that is more of a baby brand company, I mean, they actually are someone who does want to run ads from 1 a.m. to 4 p.m. or 1 a.m.
1 a.m. to 4 a.m.
because they're
This is their
up
gold mine.
scrolling while they're just nursing a baby and trying to put him back down, but it's their way to stay awake. And there's actually a huge increase in impulse buying during that time. Whereas most of our other clients, we do testing first and find out that those are dead hours. So you just don't run ads during that time. So there's all sorts of ways that you can tweak it within. And then what you can also do is you can take your campaigns and like campaigns, let's say it's maximize conversions. You can bucket them together under shared budgets and allow the algorithm to allocate the money towards whichever campaign is performing better. Then you can also bucket them together under portfolio bid strategies to get them to share data so that way all your campaigns are learning from each other faster. And so there's a ton of things that can be done within ads that make it more efficient. So that way, when it gets to a point that you do want to scale, you are at maximum ROI. And something that actually is very much overlooked, and I will touch on the HubSpot component as well, is SEO's impact. So one of our clients in particular was running ads, and she had, I think it was a 3.75 ROI on her, like ROAS, return on ad spend on her Google ads. We took a look at her SEO, and for her e-com product, you typed in her exact product name and her brand name, and a competitor showed up, not only in the
She didn't show up at all. None.
Not only in search results, but image results as well. So we told her to pause ads, stop everything. We're going to go, let's fix your foundation. We got her SEO where it needed to be, trained her up on how to run that. Then we turned back on our ads. And that same ad, those same campaigns at the same spend, we went from a 3.75 to an 11.8 ROAS, meaning her $28,000 she was originally getting on her $8,000 she spent every month was now closer to $98,000 that she got on that same 8,000. So what people don't understand with SEO and the impact of SEO on ads is that you also are paying a higher cost per click, even compared to your competitor who might be in the same position or lower, because of your quality score and your SEO trust factor. So these things all go into play, and then comes the outside tools. And that's how you can make it even more efficient. And that's where we do lead scoring, or we do custom events, and all this stuff is being fed directly in from either Google Analytics or HubSpot or another platform. And we can have it all fed in. So that way, on a conversion level, on an optimizing towards conversion value or maximizing conversions, we're able to optimize more efficiently. But the first thing you need to do is make sure that core foundation of your ad setup and of your SEO and everything like that is in place to then be able to more efficiently optimize for those other things.
It's an important thing that people don't think about is that exactly with Courtney's 100% right. But what you comes down to is you, just because you got more clicks, it doesn't mean that your conversion is like the ultimate issue. Those clicks, if Google sees that they're sending you twice as many clicks, but nobody's converting, they're going to know that where you're sending these people is not the right match. It's not a good match. And then they're going to be more critical or scrutinize more. And if they find that this performance, this user experience is not what the person wanted, they're going to charge more to every click. So not only are you going to be paying, you're paying for clicks that are not actually converting to anything, but you're going from a $2 to a $3 or $4 click, making these numbers up, only because your SEO and your experience on the other end is so poor that they're saying they're not even worth it. If you're going to keep spending the money, though, then we'll keep sending them. But your competitor, who's actually the landing pages, the SEO is good, it's good experience, they're going to be paying $1, and they're going to be buying your words, but the actual user is getting what they want, and the SEO matches. And it sounds silly, but the words in the ad need to match the page, not word for word, but they have to be on the same. Otherwise, it's a disconnect, and that you're going to be paying more money for that. People don't realize that your ads just don't need to like promise the moon. If your website's not promising the moon, like you have to have them talk to each other, and it's not worth spending more money if you're going to ultimately not have the people get what they want and you're going to be charging a paying premium for it, you might as well just stop, do the free work of the SEO to make it better, and try to improve the user experience landing page. But that's not really necessary at that point. Is fix the SEO, then turn the ads on, then let the users tell you what you need to improve on your landing page, and listen to them for those improvements. The SEO you got to do first, though, before you let the users tell you anything, because otherwise they're going to be sending the mismatched pages and stuff, and you'll be paying too much money for it.
Geez, we've already gone through our 20 minutes. I knew we'd have plenty to talk about today. So what do you see as what would be the first thing that new companies or companies that come to you should look at when they're talking about the content on their site, the SEO on their site? You had already mentioned that, hey, maybe you shouldn't run ads until your site is strong, at least to SEO standpoint. Do you have a punch list of what people should be looking at?
I can tell you the number one thing on my end is look at your tools, and we do a tools audit. If you have more than 3 tools, then you're never going to be able to succeed and move the needle and make and become profitable and not burn out. If you have 4, 5, 6, 10 tools, and I'm counting like social media platform tools and different analytics tools, those tools are just going to bleed you out. And the crazy thing people don't realize is every single one of those subscriptions costs maybe $10, maybe $100, maybe $50 every month. And over the course of the year, that all adds up very quickly, but none of them are doing their job if you have all these different systems that are not talking to each other. So if you have more than 3 tools, you need to do an actual audit of everything from email platforms to backend CRMs to social media, every single one of them. And then look, most likely you're going to end at 12 to 15 is where we usually see people. And then you need to figure out what is the 3 tools you need. Number one, and they can be the same one, needs to be an actual nervous system database that just hosts and reads and understands your data. You have to have all your communications in one place. Do not have your orders in Shopify and your contacts in HubSpot and your emails in MailChimp and think that you're going to succeed. You have to have one place carry that all. So you have to get all the information from MailChimp into HubSpot. You have to get all the information from Shopify into HubSpot, have all that stuff. You can have those other systems, but that has to be your brain. And then you need to figure out which social media or marketing tool is the most important needle mover for you. And it's one. It is not 3. It's not Twitter and everything else. Just because people like TikTok does not mean you're going to work on TikTok. Pick one. Get rid of the others for now. Start with one and own that and succeed in that. You can always have that clone and share the information elsewhere. And then number 3 is really, what do you need? It is an internal. Like, is it an internal, like emails or workshop or whatever tool you need to be able to succeed in your own realm. And that has to be able to, again, communicate with it. But anything beyond that, you don't need them. Emails all can come from the same system that your social media gets managed and your website lives in and your contact databases. You just need to find the right one for you and just be okay with breaking up with the rest, because it's going to save you so much money. I guarantee it's less money off of that, but the time and the energy, and then the whole entire point of why we have all these AI tools is they can do the work for you if you let them. You are the biggest thing in the way. You just don't have them giving them the resources so they can actually do the work. So that is number 1 across the board.
Real quick, can you guys hear okay? Are you hearing this background noise?
Yeah, I do hear the background. What's going on?
Okay, give me 1 sec. Let me try and get them to stop it. So that's why I've been a little quiet. Hold on.
So Kelly, I think one thing to look at, and I like that approach too. Like for HubSpot, and I am a HubSpot user. If you can't afford the marketing suite, then you do have to you should have a separate social platform. So you're saying that's one of your tools,
so
right?
No, people don't get in HubSpot. Go to their pricing page, click on free, and under free is the starter thing, and it starts at $15 a month. You can have a website, emails, and all the basics that you need for $15 a month. If you go over 2,000 contacts, you have to pay a little more. If you want bells and whistles, you can pay a little more. Don't let anybody in the universe tell you that you need to have pro and enterprise or you do all of them. You need starter and everything. And then if you find something, like if you have Shopify, you probably want to go up pro with probably the marketing one, because you want to have all the information, every order, every product in Shopify to be communicated in. And every time someone does something, that information is learning and acting, and it can trigger your emails, it can trigger your learnings, it can tell you when your descriptions are like missing something, and it can do a lot of the learnings and education for you. That you'll need something that's more than $15. You're probably going to pay $300 a month. That's where you max out. unless you're a big company, you don't go about that. But if you go to an agency or HubSpot, they're going to sell you the moon, but you don't need the moon. You literally need to be back on earth and have the foundation. And so that's often when we move people, like we just launched a website last week. They had so many different tools. We launched them on HubSpot for $15 a month, moved the website. They have their forms going, their automatic emails. They're getting all these leads in. They're paying $15 a month. And then when they're doing some outbound mailing and stuff, then in a few months, we're going to increase one of the hubs up so that they can get more features that they don't need right now. So just get what you need. You can tomorrow add something, but you don't need it today. So just start with the basics.
Perfect.
Don't
Courtney?
spend more than $300 a month. If you don't have a critical need, I guarantee you the $300 a month is the maximum you're going to need to spend. And most of the time, $15 is all you need. Courtney? You okay?
Okay. Yeah, I'm here. I'm back.
Okay. So he was just asking about the HubSpot, the pricing and stuff like that. And that's actually one of the biggest issues we have with people is that it's actually not inexpensive, unaffordable things if you just look at it correctly.
Yeah.
I'm just going to give you a tiny bit on the Marketing Hub because I'm a HubSpot user. And to go from your starter to Pro is $870 difference.
That's a package bundle. They're trying to give you, we fight them all the time with this because we have like 30 clients on there and we do negotiate all of our client stuff. Maybe take this off part, but their sales are getting the best benefit right now from that bundle. And they're actually selling you marketing and content together. And they're saying this is a great deal. You can just get Marketing Hub alone for the 300. And then you just want to focus on having your marketing contacts only be the people that you're actively marketing that month. If you're not emailing that person this month, put them as non-marketing. You can have 15 million people for free. You pay only for the marketing contacts. And all you do is set up one workflow and say, this person's actively being emailed, then put in marketing contact. If they bounce, if they unsubscribe, if they don't open 5 emails, move them to non-marketing. And then your numbers will always stay fresh with who you're actually marketing that month. And you have all the learnings from everybody else. That non-marketing people, they go to the website, they go to your social media, they go to anything they do, you're still getting tracked. You're still getting all the information on it, but you're not paying for them. The only thing you're paying for is the active outbound initiated, like intelligent reaction, which is the marketing context. And not most of the time, it's like a tenth of the context people actually have in there. But if you ever need negotiation, I can tell you, I've fought that battle up and down anytime.
Yes.
So we were just talking about what you think people should be looking at this coming year, Courtney.
Okay. So in terms of, are we talking business or business in general or SEO?
But let's talk business in general.
Okay. I think something that we're going to see a little bit more of a shift towards, and we already are seeing that shift, is towards a lot more basic human interaction as almost not glorified, but it's almost like that special service that people are looking for. I think we're already seeing the fatigue of everything being automated systems. And I think something that's really going to start differentiating companies are those companies that are able to offer the human to interact with and not just a chat bot or an email automation. I mean, we've seen in recent years how phone numbers have disappeared from websites because people don't want them calling. And now it's the person behind the chat's been replaced with no longer even a VA overseas, but now it's just a bot. And ultimately, you're losing connection more and more, which is causing people to crave it more and more. And something that we've seen, like firsthand, is how much people come to us and they stay with us, even when they're like, you got this, you can do this on your own. They're like, but we want to work with you. We like this. We like the dynamic. We like the personality. We like the people. And people are starting to crave more and more of that. And that's really what's going to differentiate these top tiers, high paying clients and businesses versus those commodity type businesses, which are going to be the ones that get away with just the automation. But if you really want to set yourself apart, you need to bring the human back into it. And something that a simple way that we've even seen this is we stopped doing for our own clients. We did a test on marketing emails that we sent to our own clients. We had like the more stylized like email you would expect from big brands, that sort of thing. And we said, you know what, with everyone wanting more personalized interaction, we're going to switch. And instead, I started doing more or less letters from me of big learnings that we've had from our experiences along the way. And we do, for every one where we're maybe talking about a workshop, we'll do a couple of these emails in between. And so what we did as a test was we used an email last month and an email this month. And it is the exact same email. Nothing changed on it. We sent it last month. It had a 23% open rate and maybe like it was a low 0.5% click rate. We didn't do anything much leading up to it. It was just the marketing thing. Then what we did is we put in the optimal strategy for creating connection at this point. And what happened was in doing these more simple letters from me to people, our email open rate for that exact same email in 1 month went from a 23 to a 58%. And that click through went from a 0.5 to a 27%. And we changed nothing about that email. It just is that trust that was built because we provided them on a personal level, real value in between. And that's the kind of thing that's really going to differentiate brands, especially in these very oversaturated spaces like email, like ads, like calls, like freebies. Like instead of just all these lead magnets, get a human on the other side and let them talk to a real human and get real feedback and real advice. And I think that's going to be the biggest thing that I'm excited for over the next year is bringing that human back in and helping people really get to where they want to be as a result of it. And the last thing I'll add on that is like something that has resonated really well with our clients is that outside of our general consulting one-on-one hours, we've also added in something called office hours where they can just book 15 minutes with one of our experts to just get a question that they have handled now by someone with real experience and an expert, and not just ChatGPT that's going to give you some generalized answer that might not actually be on point with what your business actually needs. So things like that. Think about ways that you can incorporate the human back into your business. And I think that that's where you'll really differentiate yourself and succeed.
Yeah, getting out of the bot call tree is the new nightmare I think everybody gets into. And how do you get
I
to
can't
a
even
human?
order on Amazon. I'm so frustrated at this point. I don't know the last time I found a human there, and I feel like I avoid them at all costs because I can't get what I need. I can't get help. If I have a return, it literally is the bane of my existence. And it's like a few years ago, that was my go-to. The automation levels it's too much, and it really burns people out. And it's amazing how when people come to us and we talk, and they say we go through the things, and we basically say like a lot of times cut out all the noise, and then let's do this, and they're like, wait, it's so much easier. You just actually have another human. You find out what it is, you solve that problem, and you move on, and you don't fall into the trap of all the noise out there. You have to wear blinders because the world is so intelligent at targeting and marketing and analyzing and intelligently identifying you that you're constantly target. You're constantly being trying to be sold. You're constantly being like convinced to do things, and you feel like all this pressure because, well, this tells me it's the best thing ever. It's just trust me, that robot is learning really well what you need and want to tell you, but you don't actually need it. I promise you. And it's really hard to just say, no, I don't need any of this stuff. And eventually, if there's something you really need, you're going to figure that out and you're going to be able to get it. But today, we got robots telling you need it. That's not the last thing you need. Get rid of it. Like, just avoid it because it's just doing a really good job at its job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're learning to sell to us. And I think at the end of the day, we're always going to write content and we're going to do marketing to sell to humans, not to other robots.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. So Kelly and Courtney, we are out of time. At the very end of the episode, I give everybody a chance to do a shameless plug. You guys are going to have to do a shameless plug together.
Courtney, you're up.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Well, if you are looking for help on increasing your productivity and learning how to take that marketing back in-house automating the shit out of it so you can actually have your marketing do the heavy lifting for you, and you can focus on those things that really matter for your brand, then you can go ahead and find us on marketlikeacmo.com and book a call on marketlikeacmo.com/workshop. And we would love to chat with you. We'll give you an hour to come with your biggest problem, and we will help find a solution.
That's perfect. I'll make sure I get all those into the show notes, and maybe the title should be "Market the Shit Out of It" for our episode.
I love it.
Yeah.
But really, it's so funny because everyone thinks marketing became everyone's business, but no, marketing is one tool to help your business. Your business is whatever you do, and that's where you need to be. Marketing needs to do its job and then inform you effectively and not become your job. And that's where businesses fail. They bleed out. They just can't move. They fall into the trap of what marketing is actually not supposed to be. It's supposed to be a resource, not the bait of your existence.
All right, Kelly and Courtney, it's been such a great conversation today. Thank you so much for being here.
Go enjoy the beach.
Talk Commerce is a production of Content Basis, LLC. For more creative content, go to contentbasis.io.